Hello Amador County, I'm Tom Slivick and welcome to TSPN's News for today. The Amador supervisors voted to end a 60-year Amador Plan with CAL FIRE for off-season personnel and equipment. Jackson disburses TOT funding to 5 groups and holds funds for 1. November ballot candidate declaration period opens Monday, July 16th. Amador County and Jackson Rancheria will discuss dispatching partnership. And in the second half of the news, I'll be speaking with Supervisor Luis Boitano for an update on recent work by the Amador County Board of Supervisors. So stay with us. I'll be right back after this break. You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN. Hello Amador County and welcome back. The Amador County Board of Supervisors voted 5-0 Tuesday, July 10th to end a 60-year Amador Plan with CAL FIRE for the off-season fire coverage in the county based on rising costs. And County Administrative Officer Chuck Eiley said the big question and reason it was reagendized was to discuss whether or not we want to fund the Amador Plan this year and in the future. To defund it, they need 120 days notice. And John Hopkins, General Service Director, said CAL FIRE Administrative Chief Joe Tyler said at the last meeting, he said 60 days would be an adequate notice to terminate the contract. Eiley wanted to know if the county should give them notice. And Supervisor Chairman Luis Boitano said, I wanted to do it last year to end the historic Amador Plan, which he said has been around us as long as he has. He said, it's served us well for as long as I can remember, but we're at the point where we can't afford it. He said CAL FIRE will be around staffing their stations, but whether or not they respond is another question. Boitano said, I think it's time for us to stand on our own, and Supervisor John Plow said it served as a terrific model, but the state budget has gone from funding 3 stations to 2 stations and finally down to 1 in the off-season, and costs keep going up. They also need to update staff and do not get the same bang for their buck. Supervisor Brian Oneto said originally it gave the county pretty good bang for its buck, but CDF priced it out of our market. He thought the county would get more bang for their buck by keeping Proposition 172 funding in the county and funding local brigades. Supervisor Ted Novelli agreed, saying, we need to stand on our own 2 feet. Novelli said, I would like to thank CAL FIRE for all they've done and all they continue to do with its many men and women in the county and the state. And Supervisor Vice Chairman Richard Forrester said he was in favor of keeping the dispatch services, but those costs are going up as well. Supervisors approved dropping the Amador Plan for paid staffing in the off-season that will save the county $250,000 in Proposition 172 funds. They will keep the funding until they hear from an ad hoc committee of Oneto and Plaz and from the Amador Fire Protection District Chief Jim McCart on staffing needs. Jackson City Council on Monday voted to allocate $36,000 in transient occupancy tax funds to various projects, including $14,000 to the Jackson Business and Community Association. Council members said they were not sure of the project that the Amador County Business Council proposes with its funding request for the funds from the city's TOT funds is established in a 10% tax that passed in Measure E in 2002. The measure declared a first priority of the additional 2% TOT be spending for tourism and business promotion, economic development, and downtown revitalization. Councilman Wayne Garibaldi proposed increasing Measure E funds to $36,000 and allocating more than the $30,000 recommended by the TOT Advisory Committee. 4 of the allocations were made at lower than requested amounts. The request totaled $48,500 and the city has $56,000 in the TOT account. Only the Jackson Business and Community Association's request for $14,000 was fully funded. City Manager Mike Daly said fully funding in the JBCA was recommended because it serves all Jackson businesses and only the city. Other allocations include $7,000 each to Amador Council of Tourism and Amador County Chamber of Commerce, $3,500 to Main Street Theater Works, and $2,500 to Amador Arts. Dee Dee Duran of Amador Arts said the Jazzin' It Up in Jackson event recently included a poll of visitors and found that 38% were respondents were people from outside Jackson. And Tourism Council's Marion Funk said she believed that an agreement exists with the Chamber to defray costs over of their duties. She believed the Chamber would focus on attracting and promoting businesses, and her council would focus on advertising outside the county to generate tourism. Mike Fallon of Main Street Theater Works said the funding would help the theater to install an Americans with Disabilities Act parking space in the lot. And the council also discussed an earmarked $2,000 for the Amador County Business Council, pending hearing from the Business Council on how it intends to spend the funds. Councilwoman Connie Gonzalez said Stan Lukowitz and Paul Molinelli Jr. were involved in the Business Council, but she was not sure what the council does. Garibaldi said he had some skepticism about funding the Business Council, but did not want to imply ill will toward the group. He wanted to hear their plans to spend the money. He said the Business Council has a grand plan for public-private partnership between the cities and the county to strengthen businesses, but he was unsure of the specifics. Mayor Pat Cruz said he was not quite sure where the Business Council fit. He said it is more of a political action committee because they support political candidates and political actions. The Business Council recently supported a countywide TOT increase, which will be Measure Q on the November ballot. Amador County Registrar of Voters Sheldon D. Johnson announced that the nomination period for the November 6th general election races begins on Monday, July 16th and ends August 10th for several municipal and special district elective boards and councils in Amador County. Amador County Unified School District's Board of Trustees will have 2 seats up for election in Trustee Area 4 and Trustee Area 5. Trustee area boundaries are coterminous with the adopted county supervisorial districts. Trustee Mary Walzer represents Trustee Area 4, and President Wally Upper represents Area 5 on the current board. The election will be the first since Amador Unified switched from a 7-member board to a 5-member board. Amador City will have 3 city council seats on the ballot, with terms expiring for Councilman John Swift, Michael Brown, and Aaron Brusatori, all elected in 2008. City Treasurer Janet Spencer's term also expires, and the position will be on the ballot. Ione City Council has 2 seats in the 2012 race, held by incumbents David Plank and Andrea Bonham. City Clerk and Treasurer's seats are also on the ballot, held by Clerk Janice Travasso and Treasurer Sharon M. Long. Jackson City Council has 3 council terms expiring, held by Wayne Garibaldi, Keith Sweet, and Marilyn L. Lewis. The City Clerk and the Treasurer's position will also be on the ballot. Plymouth City Council will have 3 positions on the November 6th ballot. Terms are expiring for council members John Colburn, Patricia J. Shackleton, and Greg Baldwin, as well as City Treasurer Susan Hatley. In Sutter Creek, 3 city council terms will expire, opening races for seats held by Sandra Anderson, Gary R. Wooten, and Tim Murphy. Amador Water Agency Board of Directors will have 2 director positions on the ballot, with terms expiring for District 2 Director Gary E. Thomas and District 3 Director Rich Farrington. Volcano Community Service District will have 3 director seats on the ballot. Declaration of candidacy and nomination papers may be obtained July 16th through August 10th. Official nomination papers for eligible candidates to file for any elective office may be obtained from the city clerk's Volcanoes CSD or the elections office. If an incumbent fails to file his or her nomination papers by 5 p.m. Friday, August 10th, there will be a 5-day extension allowed for all people other than the incumbent to file for such office. The extension deadline is 5 p.m. Wednesday, August 15th. Individuals interested in filing for county offices should contact the election department at 209-223-6465 for additional information. In the Amador County Supervisors on Tuesday, July 10th, voted to end the Amador Plan, an agreement with CAL FIRE to staff the firehouse in the county during the off-season, and also directed staff to discuss a dispatching agreement with Jackson Rancheria Band of Miwok Indians. Supervisor John Plow said the Jackson Rancheria and CAL FIRE had not been able to reach agreement, and the difficulty centered on tribal sovereignty, which the tribe did not want to forego. He asked if the county had discussed the issue with the tribe, and General Services Director John Hopkins says county staff has not yet started formal discussion. County Counsel Greg Gillette said staff and the tribe had an informal meeting sometime back, and the county may find itself in the same place as CDF. Plass asked that the agreement with the Rancheria would not go into effect until they reach an agreement, and Hopkins said any agreement would not go into effect until we notify CAL FIRE. Supervisor Chairman Lewis asked Boitano asked if the agreement included mutual aid. Hopkins said this agreement is for dispatching services only, and County Administrative Officer Chuck Eiley said the agreement with the tribe was a suggested alternative, and maybe we can work things out, including technical terms that would need clarification. Supervisor Ted Novelli asked if they should set a time limit. Eiley said the Jackson Rancheria wants to move as quickly as possible on the issue, and Joe Tyler, Administrative Officer for CAL FIRE's Amador El Dorado unit, said, "We are here as a long-standing cooperator with Amador County." He said CDF and Amador County have been in a cooperative agreement for more than 60 years, and Tyler said, while we would enjoy seeing a cooperative agreement continue, they would also like to be able to commit a specific engine and personnel. And Supervisor Vice Chairman Richard Forster asked if, since Amador was the initiating agency, they could get a discount on the Amador Plan. He asked how many Amador plans were in place for mutual aid contracting around the state. They're called Amador Plans because they originated here. And Tyler said there are 21 CAL FIRE administrative units, and there is some sort of Amador Plan type agreement in place in each unit. Boitano said he terminated his telephone landline the other day, and the company told him, "You're one of the oldest services in the state of California." He told them, "You have to cut costs somewhere." Well, let's take a quick look at our weather. It's hot out there today. It's supposed to reach 105. And the low of 71, winds west 5 to 9 miles an hour. Thursday, sunny, hot, high of 103, low of 69. Winds west 5 to 8 miles an hour on Friday. Looks like it's going to cool down a little. Sunny and hot, high 100, low of 65. Air quality, it's got to be terrible out there. And stay with us. When we come back, I'll be with Supervisor Louis Boitano, District 4.